presentation on the Song Brown program. As many of you know, there's a primary care residency funding available through that program. Funding is sort of separated out a little bit differently. So Melissa, who is the manager for the Song Brown program, will walk you through some of those differences and how you can take advantage of that funding if you're looking to become an accredited program. She's been with the organization and with the program for quite some time, so she has a lot of wisdom that she can share with you. So thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be here today to talk to you about the other GME program in the state of California, being the Song Brown program. For those of you, let me see if I get this right here. For those of you that may not know very much about the Song Brown program was established in 1973 through legislation that focused on primary care, advancing family practice at the time in 1973. We are now probably close to 50 years as a program. And we have grown to now include internal medicine, OB-GYN, and pediatric residency programs as well. We also support family nurse practitioner, physician assistant, and registered nurse programs. Song Brown provides grants to residency programs to incentivize them to train residents that will go on to practice in areas of unmet need, to provide clinical experiences to those residents in areas of unmet need, and to attract and admit what the commission considers to be underrepresented minorities. As I said, we fund the disciplines listed there. We work in conjunction with the California Healthcare Workforce Policy Commission. That is a 15-member body that provides healthcare expertise to us, sets policy for the program, and recommends awards. So getting back to what the statutory priorities are for Song Brown, again, they are providing residents clinical training in areas of unmet need. We want to know, we want to see when you submit an application that you are providing as many opportunities as possible to your residents to train in underserved areas or with underserved populations. We capture that information through, you will give us a list of all of your training sites, the names and the addresses, and then you will also tell us the training sites that you provide to us if they're a primary clinical site. And if they are, you are going to provide to us the payer mix. So just like they collect information on your payer mix, we do as well. You will be scored on that as well. So we will score you on your payer mix population. We will score you on if your training sites are what we consider to be in areas of unmet need. For areas of unmet need, we are looking at we are looking at HPSAs, MUAs, MUPs. The commission has their own designation called a primary care shortage area. So if a training site happens to fall within that area, you will get credit for that. But we are also looking beyond that. Say you have your residents rotate through a county clinic that doesn't happen to fall in a geographical area of unmet need, then you may get credit for that training site as well. So we look at county clinics, we look at community health centers, we look at the VA, we look at the prison system. There's many other underserved populations that may not be captured in a geographical area of unmet need. So placement of graduates in areas of unmet need. We know that you're all limited in where your graduates go, right? You only have so much influence over where they end up practicing. But as much as you can, we want to know that you are encouraging your residents to go on to practice in areas of unmet need. And we see that happening through the training that you provide to them. The more exposure you provide to them to underserved populations, hopefully they will then go on to serve those populations. And then recruitment of underrepresented minorities. I know that there was discussion earlier about underrepresented minorities. The commission has their own definition of what underrepresented minorities are. And so for each, as part of our application process, we ask you to tell us about each of your graduates. So we want their name, we want their MPI, we want their race, their ethnicity, where they're practicing at, and you will be scored based on their race and ethnicity. That is a part of the scoring process for SongGrow. Okay. So this is the available funding for SongGrow. SongGrow in the 1920 budget, the governor just appropriated $31 million annually to our program to fund primary care residency programs. And it's broken out as such. For existing programs, we set aside $18.7 million to support those. Teaching health centers, it's $5.7 million. Expansion programs that are permanently expanding their residency slots, there is $3.3 million set aside for that. And new programs. So the commission wants to encourage new programs to apply. So in that effort, they have set aside $3.3 million. And this money is to help you. You know, our understanding is that starting a new program is very expensive. So we are going to help new programs by helping them offset the cost of becoming accredited. New programs can apply for up to $800,000.
This is a good question. I was confusing you with the last folks that were here. So San Isidro Health did receive that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Our internal medicine program was accredited. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We will be applying for operating funds, and we were having a little trouble seeing where in those four then we are. So we haven't graduated anyone. We're a paper. We haven't started anything.
Right. So you are next you are going to apply for, so what type of, you are a community,
FQHC.
an FQHC?
So they applied last, 20.
Yeah, so we got the 800,000.
Okay, and then you just applied, right? Did you just apply as well?
Well, I'm hoping we picked the right thing, but I'm curious now.
Okay. Okay, so I think that you applied for existing slots and may have applied for teaching health center slots as well?
Yeah.
So you are eligible to apply for both of those buckets of money.
Are people going to be glad to hear that?
Okay. Okay, so our application process is a competitive process. We, like Lupe was just speaking about the demand versus what's available, we run into that problem as well. We get way more program applications than we could possibly award everyone. So let's move on here. So this is what, we have only been funding new PCR programs in since 2017. So here you can see overall in all of SongGrow for PCR, we awarded $52 million, 12 or almost 13 million of that going to new programs. We really, on average, we probably get 7 to 8 new program applicants a year. We would love to get more. The commission would love to get more. They want to fund new programs. For teaching health centers, we have been funding teaching health centers since 2013. So in that time, we have awarded $87 million in SongGrow, and almost $21 million of that have gone towards teaching health centers. The commission loves teaching health centers as well, loves their mission, loves what they're doing in the community. Okay, so I was asked to talk a little bit about application submission best practices. So in the event that you would like to submit an application, let's see, new programs funding. Say you're getting off the ground and you want to apply for new programs funding. That is a longer application. It will have qualitative and quantitative information that we're going to collect from you. So my advice, if you are plan on applying for new programs funding, is read the questions, provide responses. We know that you're new, and a lot of the things that we're asking you, you're not going to have in place yet. But tell us what you are going to do and describe it well. New programs applications are reviewed by a review panel of subject matter experts, and the things that we hear, the feedback that we get from them after a review cycle is wasn't described very well. You know, it's a lot of words, but nothing behind it. Those are the kinds of, you know, responses that we get from them when they're providing feedback. So, and the other thing, if you are going to apply, is read the category requirements. There are requirements, eligibility requirements for each one of these buckets of money. If you're not sure, don't guess. I would suggest that maybe you don't know. Should I apply? Am I eligible for new programs funding? Am I eligible for teaching health center funding? Am I eligible? Apply for all of them. It's all in one application, except for new programs funding. That will, if you decide to do new programs in any of the other three categories, you will be submitting 2 applications. But staff will make the determination once your application is submitted which bucket you actually qualify for based on all of the requirements that you meet. Know what resources are available to you. Out on our website is our glossary of terms, is a technical assistance grant guide, is a PowerPoint presentation. We also do webinars prior to the release of our application. So I encourage you to attend those if you're available and can do that. Be proactive. Know when our application is released. You only get 30 days to complete an application and submit it. So if you have any questions during the application process, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you. We want you to complete a good application. And then provide complete and accurate graduate and training site information. So as a newer program, the only information you're really going to provide to us is your training sites. If you don't know, I would hope that you would know, obviously, the name of your training site and exactly where it's located. But if you are successful and get awarded and you want to come back for future SongGround funding, a lot of programs, when they're providing us with their graduate data, they have some annual survey or something that they do of their graduates to get all of that information. But we see a lot of misspelled names, misspelled addresses, which can really mess up the process of determining if it's in an area of unmet need or not. Some people don't even attach a name to an address, they just put in an address. Well, that's not very helpful to us when that address may not be in an area of unmet need, but if you had just told us, you know, that it was a county clinic, we would have verified that and given you credit for that. But with no name, we're not going to put too much effort into trying to help you out. We do our best, but this year we got 92 applications. And so it's a little hard to take the time to help everyone get all of their information correct. And then allow sufficient time to properly fill out your application. We see people, like I said, you only get 30 days. We see people who wait until the week before it's due and then are hit with the amount of information that they have to provide. And so we'll just, you know, submit. Well, anymore you cannot submit without providing every piece of information that we ask you for. In the past you could have done that. But that's where we get the no names, the wrong addresses and such, is because people have waited until the last minute to complete their application. Okay, so here's our contact information. The SongGround email box there. And if you go to the Song Brown webpage, we are located under loans, scholarships, and grants. And that's it. Is there any questions?
$31 million with allocation.
Mm-hmm.
Does that vary at all based on stock, the economy, or is there any?
Okay, so a disclaimer. While, the governor appropriated $31 million annually going forward for Song Brown, it is general fund dollars. So it's always at the whim of what's happening with government, right? We feel good because he gave it to us the first 3 years, and we were doing what he wanted us to do with the dollars, and so he appropriated it annually from now on. So at this point, we feel very good. We also get, on an annual basis, what we call data fund dollars. It's not very much, though. It's only like $2.581 million. So we have that money as well if there should ever be a shortfall on the general fund side, but certainly it's not that large amount of money. Like I said, it's general fund dollars. You're always at the whim of the government.
So is there any, for example, could we, any of us advocate for, gosh, we need more? Who do we ask besides you guys?
Natalie right there. Yes, it was Natalie and her organization that got us, this large amount of money that we do have now.
Yeah, and we continue to work very closely with the Academy of Family Physicians,
Mhm.
the Medical Association, and many other stakeholders to ensure that these dollars continue. We've been doing it since 2016.
Yeah.
And continue to do so every year. So know that we're actively engaged in this advocacy.
So I think what I'd be, behind my question
Uh-huh.
on that is that continued advocacy by all of us in primary care is going to be important.
Mhm.
Maybe even leading our funding.
Mhm.
Fund.
Yes.
Supported.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa. Appreciate it.